Nadia. It's so confusing. I don't know if we're going to have a few problems. It's Mercury retrograde, you know. What's up, my G's? Hit the like button when you come in. Hey, the Suede Sage. Hey, Nadia. Hey, Cherise from Orlando, Florida. What's up, Nelly? What's up, Alana? Hit the like button when y'all come in, my loves. You're not going to pull any cards today, my loves. Hey, Q. What's up, my G? Ashanti. I just messed up my makeup straight away. My lips. It's right there. Anyway, yeah, we're not really going to pull no cards today. We're going to talk about PsyOps. Y'all know what PsyOps are? Oh, it's because I'm vibing. I'm so sorry. Should I talk louder in it? Because y'all are used to my big mouth. So yeah, do y'all know what PsyOps are? Let me bring this thing a bit closer as well then. Is that better? I haven't got such a cute background, but you know. Y'all know what PsyOps are? Talk to me. Psychological operations. Y'all know what that is? Hello, Valentina. Okay. Hey, Nancy. Hey, Cherie. You do. Some of you do, some of you don't. Alright, boom, we're going to talk about it for a hot minute. Peace, Jen. Y'all hit the like button when you come in, my loves. I think we should pray first, alright? Divine Mother and Father who live within us, higher be thy name, our freedom come. Your will be done on earth as it is within us. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses against ourselves and others, as we forgive those who trespass against us and themselves, through all lifetimes, timelines, and levels of consciousness. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from the absence of love. For we are the kingdom, we are the power. Divided we are weak, united we are victorious, and to you, the Almighty, we give all of the glory forever and ever. Duanete. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It is done, it is done, it is done, and so it is, and so it will be. Ashe. I invite my ancestors, my angels, my guides, my Orisha, my guardians of the sea, of the earth, and of the air, my higher self, to come in to this discussion with the collective in regards to psychological operations, distractions, and the handover of the new leadership. I don't know what I'm saying, so allow me in it. I ain't got no cards to fall behind today. Ashe. As above, so below. So within, so without. If it's you, then it's me. If it's me, then it's you. Let's do some of that. Never feel you're always on time, my G. Music playing in the background is Calm Whale, New Beginnings. Alright, guys. I don't even know where to start. My notes are all over the place. This is the beginning, this is the end, this is the middle. Like, they're all over the place. But you're going to bear with me, and hopefully we're going to get to really dissect some of the latest carryings-ons in the last few days, right? So on the 8th, it was announced that the Queen of England, Lizzie the Lizard, was pronounced dead. Now, obviously, I've been telling you for a very, very long time that she's been dead. But the announcement was a signal to humanity that you are now in your own sovereignty. Nothing rules over you at this time. That era is dead. So to mark that, there was a double rainbow over Buckingham Palace, which I could see from my home. I took a picture. And yeah, it was a sight to see. It was very exciting. I mean, I love a rainbow at the best of times, but this particular one, without even knowing what it was, hey Marilyn, my G, without knowing what it was, I was in a very celebratory energy, very happy, very high. It wasn't until a few hours later I actually found out what had conspired. Now, during that time, there was also the shooting of a young black man, a young unarmed black man by police called Chris Carver. Now, initially, it was thought that the announcement of her death was just another cover-up for yet another murder of an innocent black man. But really and truly, when you think about it, why would you go to such lengths to cover up another black man being shot by police? Like, do you know how many black men have been killed before George Floyd and after George Floyd by the same people, and no big deal was made? But it just so happens that when George Floyd was killed, we were in a full moon in Sagittarius. We were also in a Pluto and Saturn retrograde in Capricorn. I'm sorry, I need to put my do not disturb on because so many, like, I've had 3 texts from 3 different people since I've been here, so the distractions are on 100. Bear with me, guys. Right, boom. Okay, so as I was saying, there was a retrograde of Pluto and Jupiter. I feel like I'm not talking loud enough. Just let me know if I go really low. Pluto and Jupiter. I'm chatting shit. Pluto and Saturn in Capricorn. That retrograde in that constellation hadn't happened for 500 years, and it had started on the 12th and 13th of January of 2020, which also marked, with that retrograde happening between those 2 planets in that constellation, that marked the end of a massive, significant thing. So the last time that happened, I feel like there was a particular guy, I think his name was Martin Luther, if I'm not mistaken, not the one that we know, but Martin Luther broke away from the Catholic Church and created a different denomination. That's what happened the last time those 2 planets were in retrograde, which was 500 years previous to 2020. And then they continue to be in retrograde with each other practically throughout the entire year. It also marked the beginning of a new species of humans, whether it be the crystalline or whether it be the hybrid of AI and human. And so with these two significant things happening because of these retrogrades, along with a full moon, we got the murder of, sorry, Chiron's Thea, you are putting me off so much, my darling, with what you're saying, because it just keeps flashing up so much. You're messaging, texting a lot. I mean, I love you, you know, I see you all the time. Half the time I don't know what your stuff means, and I appreciate you, but it's like it's a bit off-putting, B, especially without the cards, because you know when I'm doing the cards, at least I can be distracted, look down and reading the cards, but because I'm looking directly at the screen, it's a bit off-putting, my love. Thank you. Anyway, so with that being said, there was the full moon in Sagittarius at the time. And during that time, they had called people to the streets to protest the death of the murder of George Floyd. At which time, everything had been shut down. Remember, there was no sports, there was no festivals, there was no churches, there was nothing where there was a huge congregation of people where their energy was being given out. There was none of that. So in my opinion, they were starving. Them meaning Simon and them, the wickeds, them, whatever you want to call them, they were starving and they needed to harvest energy. Now the most potent energy, as you already know, is those who hold large amounts of melanin. Now, I don't say that to be superior to anything or anyone. I'm just talking facts here, right? So they had melanated people on the streets screaming that they couldn't breathe and that their lives mattered. Now, to me, that was wild. Because the very organization that they were repping was being funded by a cat called George Soros, who is also funding paedophile rings and things of that nature. So it made me really wonder what the fuck was really going on here. And as we know, in Washington, I had this awful premonition that there would be a massacre of some kind. And although it was documented, it was reported, but it quickly went away. There was a lot of people in Washington who were about the protests who went missing. I mean, we still don't know if they were ever found or what. We don't know what the fuck. You know, around about the time when Washington blacked out, the whole White House went dark. It was around that time when a bag of people went missing. There was a lot of chaos and confusion. So there was that part. All right, so boom. So now I'm watching Sister Myra on Black Magic 363 channel talking about the resurrection of the actual royal family as the destruction of the fake royal family happens right in front of us. I just got to guess because you lot 41 in, 41 likes. Thank you guys. 5 being the number of change, right? So I was watching Mother Myra, yeah, and it took me hours to watch that video. It's a 2-hour video, but it took me so long to watch that video because the way I had to keep stopping shit, taking a breath, breathing, taking things in, letting the downloads pass through me, and then going back to her. Like, she triggered so many downloads for me. Now, one particular thing that she said was that during... there was a time, I posted it on my Instagram if you lot want the full story, or you can go and watch it. She said there was a time when there was this woman called Tara who was on life support machine. Her husband wanted her to to be taken off. The parents wanted her to be kept on. And at the time, the President George Bush came true and said he wanted her to stay on. Anyway, she lost the case. They lost the case, and the machine was turned off. She died on the same day that she died, because Mother Myra was saying that it was the fact that George Bush came in for pro-life in a fake way. The life support machine was unsustainable and unnatural. So that's what she got from that. And then on the same day that this woman's life support machine was taken off, she also said that her name, Terry, represented Tara, which was materialism. So the same day this woman died was the same day that the Pope died, who was the prince, who was the king of illusion and materialism. And she said that anytime something like that happens, when there's highlighted, somebody's of no importance death is highlighted, and then somebody of importance dies, it's symbolism. We shouldn't take it literally, like a black man was killed when the Queen died. We need to see the symbolism. Holy fuck. Let me tell you about this download now. Okay, so I'm like, all right, let me see what this guy's called. I'm getting tears in my eyes, can you see? Because it really fucking moved me. So I said, let me see what this guy's name is again. And his name is Chris, C-H-R-I-S, Kaba, C-A-B-A. Jesus. You hear? Jesus Christ. Christ of the Cabal. That's what I got. That's what I got. And in the beginning, I thought that it meant the Christ, the God of the Cabal was dead. That's what I got initially. But today I was watching Hood Healer, and she was saying that King Charles is the Antichrist. Now, bruh, you know, I forgot all about them things there, because I forgot that as something it rises up, there needs to be its opposite. So as this Christ-like conscious rises up, there needs to be an anti-Christ-like consciousness that is also rising at the same time, because that's the law. That's one of the 7 Hermetic laws, right? So as above, so below. So I'm like, the fuck? And then I count his letters in his name, Chris Kaba, there's 9 letters. Now, 9 you already know is endings, right? So I'm looking at this like, what the fuck is going on here? Because at the same time, what's happened now? They got people out on them streets again, screaming the same thing, harvesting up that angered, frustrated energy. So what? And then also you got people mad at people for being sad at the passing of Lizzie, more energy harvesting. And then you've got people mad at the fact that black people have gone out on the streets at a time where this creature has passed away. And they're mad. Oh, what's that? They're mad because they feel that they're not showing respect. So there's so much heightened, angered energy, and they're harvesting this shit. So I'm like, but there's more. There's even fucking more. So to me, that was Chris Carver's death was a blood sacrifice. How are they just going to go out randomly and shoot this man? He was also a trainee architect. He's reported as a rapper, because they're always going to report these black people as not being much. This was a young man who was about to get married. He was about to have a family, and he was a trainee architect. Now, remember what I've been telling you about architecture and you being the architect of your own world, of your own life. You are the architect of this new world. And the symbolism of that tells me that they were trying to shut that fucking shit down, let you know that you're not the architect. At any time, they can just fucking done your dance, and that is that. But it's deeper than that. You already know. You already know, y'all. My G's. So boom. And then I looked at its name again, Kaaba. Hold on, I just want to make sure before I jump, because I'm jumping all over the place, yeah? So we got all of that in. So what I the download that I got, or what I wrote, was we don't notice the significant sacrifice because of they had decoys on either side of it. So they had the passing of Lizzie on one side, and then the I don't know if it's an inauguration or I don't know what the fuck they call it when they bring a new head of the royal family into something. What's it called? A coronation? I don't know what the fuck it is, yeah? But they had that, and in between there was Chris Carver. So, hear me now. When I saw Carver, obviously, I heard Macabre. And when I heard Macabre, I heard Metatron. Now, the little that I know about Metatron, okay, this is the Macabre. This is Metatron's star, the Macabre, right? This is what he carries with him in his book. And also with Metatron, I know Metatron as the healer. This, let me see which nail it was. It was this fingernail. When I was training to be a hairdresser, yeah, my nail died. It just got infected. It got cut and whatever, and all the nastiness, oils and gels got into my finger. Fingernail died. This is 2015. Just to say that it is actually 2015 in Ethiopia. They celebrated, let me say it properly, wait. Malka Ma Dis Emet. Happy New Year in Ethiopian, yeah? So they celebrated their New Year on the same day that Charles was made king. But we're gonna get to that bit. Okay. All right, boom. So Macabre, yeah, right? I know, Metatron, this is what I know about Metatron. Metatron is known as the Prince of Presence. He's also Metator also means leader, to guard and protect, the one who guards. He's also known as Metatish in Islam, and he's known to fight the jinn and dark energies, dark magic and such, right? Known as the angel that led the Israelites through the wilderness. This is Metatron. Yeah. Now Metatron's not in your regular Bible. Metatron is in your book of Enoch, and is in to be exact. It's the third book of Enoch, and it's also in the Kabbalah. Metatron is also mentioned in the Kabbalah. Now, I don't know if you lot have seen the documentary The Fall of the Cabal. I mean, it's not for the faint-hearted, yo, honestly, but it's a very interesting watch to know who is who, what is what, and how they move and why they move like that. Very interesting. So Metatron was known as the scribe that recorded. It was God's scriber. So he sat next to God, this angel. He was loved more than all of the other angels, even more than Lucifer was loved at the time, right? So he was known as the scribe that sat next to God and recorded all of what God said, and then was sent down to earth as the messenger to teach the world the word of God. That's what it said here. He was also known to record and scribe the events on earth from the deeds of every man and every woman, and report back to God with that judgment. So after we come out of this Virgo season, we move into Libra season. Macabre, Metatron will be very present right up until then, because it is said that once Metatron is on the earth, he stays for only 30 days until he is brought back up into heaven. So on the 30th day from the day he appeared, which if Chris Carver represents Metatron, let's say that he appeared on the 8th. So 30 days after that is the 8th of that he turned up on the 8th of September. He's gonna kick out on the 8th of October, right? Go on and go back with God and them things there, yeah, right? So boom. Because once he's recorded everything, his work is rewarded, and then he's brought back up to heaven for good. He's also known as the youth. The other angels and God refers to Metatron as youth, because he is known to be the youngest angel and also the first angel that was born of man, because before he was archangel Metatron, it is said that he was Enoch himself. And God was so pleased with Enoch's work that he graduated him into archangelism and had him rule over all the other angels. Not all the other angels were about that life. They weren't on it, because they were like, how can you make a mere man into one of us and have him rule us? God was like, why? You're either going to get with it or get the fuck on. So that's what happened with Metatron. That's why he's not really mentioned. Now hear this. When he was turned from Enoch into Metatron, he was expanded. So he was made bigger, angel-like. You get me? He was buffed out. And what sprang from him? He grew a set of 72 wings. A set of 72 wings. So 72 on this side, 9. 72 on that side, 9. What did we jump into the day after Chris Carver died? We jumped into that 9-9 portal. Bruh. And this is the most unusual portal of all the portals I've ever acknowledged, because not only do we have the 9-9, we get another one on the 18th, which is another 9-9, and we get another one on the 27th, which is another 9-9. So all in 1 month, we have 3 9-9-9 portals in 1 month. The fuck is that? What energy is that? With all of these planets still doing what they're doing. So boom. It was also, Metatron was also known as the successor, or was suggested that he was so loved that he was crowned by God. And by crowning Metatron, it was said that the other angels thought that he would one day succeed God. I don't know how that's possible, because I don't know how God is eternal, right? So, but this is what is written and said, yeah. That God so loved Metatron that he was seen by the other angels as God's successor. Even at times, sometimes when God was asked to leave rank or leave his post or their post, Metatron sat in the place of God and was given the same powers, but also was humbled. They also say that there was an incident where he was struck 70 times by a rod of fire by God, just to, keep man humble and just make man know their place. I mean, it sounds brutal and shit, but I don't know. What is the relevance of all of this? What is the relevance of all of this? First of all, we already know that our hearts have been weighed against a feather, and if they were not light, we didn't get to go true. This is no different. This is an ongoing thing. Just because you feel like right now, obviously all of these other stimuli and energies and PsyOps and distractions are there to bring you back down and give us heavy hearts, because we're tired of seeing our brothers, our sons, our lovers, our husbands, our fathers murdered in front of us, to the point where we're so desensitized from seeing it that it can just pass us by. Do you understand what I'm saying? One day it happened, the next day something else, let's carry on. But no, like, this is not a time to be desensitized to how we are feeling. we have to feel everything. Thinking our logical minds are not going to really serve us in these times. Yes, critical think everything before you jump on or into anything, but at the same time you have to feel the energy. And something I feel, right? Something feels different. I told you I woke up on the 9-9 portal to silence. There was nothing, not a bird, not an aeroplane, not a child in the streets playing, because I live near a school. Nothing. It was silent. It was like, I knew it was broad daylight, but it was like the dead of night. It was so eerie, yo. So we have to feel this energy. We have to feel when something ain't right and allow our instincts and our intuitions to guide us. For us to go within and really trust whatever it is that our soul, our intuition, our instincts are telling us at this time. Whew. So Metatron's is of service to humanity. He promotes wellness of the mind. So it's said that when we are feeling moments of depression, which we already know are moments of depression, are moments of just before you bust through another layer of your ascension, of your evolution. You feel these feelings of depression and hopelessness. But once you overcome that and move through that, then you come to a next level of you. We've been talking about this. So Metatron is that energy that you feel, that even through your deepest, darkest depression, you can feel words of hope and encouragement and love. That's Metatron. That's what that angel does. In the same way that Archangel Michael cuts things up and cuts things away from our from danger, protects us from danger, basically, right? So and they say that the only true way to tap in with Metatron is to elevate your consciousness. This is the only way you can truly tap in with this archangel. And once you do, he will elevate your consciousness and allow you to thank you, MV, and allow you to move on up into the next level of ascension, my G's. He is also said to be linked to 1111, so that whenever you see 1111, it is Metatron that is condoning and validating your thoughts at that time. My G's, this is all new information for me, so I'm still processing. I'm like, all that time. And you know how invested the spiritual community is in the number 1111. You already know. So listen. There is no King of England. It's impossible for him to be the King of England because he's a divorcee and he's married to a divorcee. So the two of them, it's impossible in their own rules for either of those to be king or queen. So what you're seeing is another hoax. You're seeing another circus act. And it's not to be taken seriously, it's not to be taken on. So all of that distraction was even more distraction, because on the actual day that was happening, not only was it 9/11, you already know about the Twin Towers and 9/11. You have to go back to when my sisters and I were talking about the whole twin flame thing being hijacked, and we had a guest who suggested that the 9/11 ritual was everything to do with that. So we had 9/11. King Charles was ushered into this thing. But also on that day in 1965, His Imperial Majesty Haile Selassie did a speech on their new year, and incidentally in Ethiopia it's 2015, which is also a 6-year. Yeah, so no, it's not, is it? Shit, it's an 8-year, isn't it? 2015, so that's an 8-year. Lord have mercy. I'm telling you, not countries portals, yeah, not countries dimensions. You hear me now? They're dimensions. So His Imperial Majesty did a speech on 9/11 on their New Year's, and he said, "Our wish," at the end of this speech, he said, "Our wish is that all his people continue to march forward, and that peace is restored for all places disturbed by conflict, and that the Almighty continues to bless all efforts in creating a better world for our people and the people of the world." So you got to remember that the significance of His Imperial Majesty is the fact that the royal family, the Queen herself, Lizzie the Lizard herself, has had to bow to this man. What's that? What is that? Ethiopia is the only African continent that has not been colonized by the British ever. So the significance of Charles coming in on Metatron is also known as the guardian of the veil. Overlapping current events is very timely. Thank you for that information. Thank you for that contribution, my G. So also, the significance of that tells me that, again, we are dealing with the opposite energy of, because you know that they thought that His Imperial Majesty was the second coming of Christ, and that he had the eyes in his hand. Like, enough people claimed that he had I forgot what it's, not the eyes, the where they nailed him to the coffin, he had these things in his hands, yeah? So, with that being said, if His Imperial Majesty was said to be the Christ, and King Charles was brought in on the throne on this day, wouldn't it suggest that he may be the opposite of that? I mean, I didn't watch any of it, man. I didn't see any of it. I haven't had the time or the capacity to tap into that. But Ethiopia has never been colonized. Italy tried it. They did try it. They actually tried it, but the Ethiopians fought them off. First time and a second time. So they've never been colonized by anybody, my darling. Yeah. So with Charles not really being king, I mean, that's just a facade. They did invade it, but they didn't win. The people fucked them up. So with that being said, if he's not king and that's all a facade, he's not good to live long either. Then the next round is William. Now William is a half-blood, because you know these people interbreed, innit? It's why the soul glisser. But the people them interbreed, and William isn't one of them. William's half Diana. And you know what they did with Diana? Because I can't believe the British public, the way we move, is mad. Because we remember when Diana told us that she was in a 3-way marriage with her husband and the horse lady. And then subsequently after that interview, Diana fled and she went to somewhere else. And it was suggested that she was pregnant with Al Fayed's grandchild, which meant she was about to have a brown baby. And soon after that, she was killed. Now, the British public were very clear that the royal family had something to do with our Queen of Hearts' death. Yeah, she was our Queen of Hearts. No, I don't know who didn't love Diana, you know. We all loved Princess Diana. So that being said, now, if Diana has chosen to stay in the spirit realm, I believe she's about to go ham with these dead people. And as we all reside in the fourth dimension at this time, our consciousness has risen that high that we can actually see the angels and demons fucking around. I believe we're gonna see some shit. Some real crazy shit. You hear me now? Her baby, Harry, I love this kid, you know. I really, really do. Her baby, Harry, I think she's already working with him and his wife. Because you already know Meghan's mum's a witch. You've seen her in it. She's a whole witch. So I feel like the whole House of Cards, the royal family, Buckingham Palace, whatever the fuck, is about to truly just implode on itself at this time. And more distractions, obviously, because you've got the brother, Andrew, who we know is a nonce. But then so is Charles, because Charles's best friend was Jimmy Savile. Jimmy Savile was one of the biggest nonces out there. So, you know, what are we actually doing here? What are the British public actually doing here? And what are we actually seeing in front of us right here, right now? Because we know clearly that your king now is a paedophile. He's an adulteress. He's a bomber club. I mean, we know that. And his mama was a lizard. We also know that he's a lizard, because if, you know. So, look, this man's not going to be on this throne for long with his horse wife. They're definitely not going to predecess. If anything happens to Charles, they will definitely not make Camilla queen. How is that going to work? So the two of them are going to go at the same time. You're going to see that. That's very, very quick. It's going to be a very quick move. Possibly by the end of the year, possibly by the time Metatron leaves, 8th of October-ish, around those times. And then there's William and his wife about to step in, Kate, right? And we're gonna see some madness, because I feel like Diana's not gonna have that. Diana's not gonna have her kid running a madness. I don't think she's gonna have that. Because you see the way our ancestors work, you see the way our spirit team works. Diana's part of William's spirit team. The fuck you mean? That's why nothing happened to what's the one, the little one, Harry, because Diana's like, the fuck you mean? The fuck you mean? And she was a bad girl, you know. Don't get it twisted. She was a bad bitch. So that's all I wanted to say about that. Now, what does that mean for us? What does that mean for the collective, for humanity at this time? If we are given, let me read this. Nostradamus allegedly predicted that over 500 years ago, Charles will die early and the success. I mean, am I Nostradamus? I ain't, but I can see that shit. You can feel that shit. If you're smart, you can see it. Look at my weird green feather. I mean, it's been through the trenches. That's another thing. The same time that all that happened, Mercury was also in its shadow period when George Floyd died. Mercury was also in its shadow period in the same way that it was in its shadow period when this all shit went down. I mean, they know what they are doing. Everything is planned and scripted. Oh, Sophie. Thank you, girl. Thank you, sister. Hey, Kelly. So yeah, guys, what does that mean for us? So I'm gonna have to read from my research 2 years ago. It wasn't research, I was just guided to this thing, and it's about something called imaginal cells. So I'm just going to read that from my journal then, and then we're going to close. We're going to bop on out. I just had to say all of this. Said all of that to say, protect your fucking energy. How many times did energy come up in our readings? It came up in the full moon reading. It came up in the 9/9 reading. Protect your energy, my G's. Do not tap into any of this. This is not your fucking business. You hear me? This ain't our business. Our business is ascension. Our business is collective consciousness. Our business is tribing up and unconditional love. Our business is getting to our best possible versions through the divine. That is our fucking business. Nothing else. Okay, boom. This feather came along with me as well. When I brought the gong in. Beautiful, innit? It's got like little, can you see the green and the purple in it? It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. I've been using a lot of dragon's blood as well. Been saging it up the place. Violet flame, guys. Violet flaming is very fucking important right now to transmute this energy. Because returning back to sender is crazy, it's too big. So transmutation, violet flaming at the moment, not a joke. Not a joke. And you know I don't usually use these types of lights, but my friend came to check me, clean from Atlanta, raggo, not seen my brethren in ages. And he left his lighter at the house. And I was like, shit, violet flame, violet flame. So, bruh, I haven't left a link to anything for a really, really long time, but I think I'm gonna leave the link. I seen an owl on my way to take my mum to PT. So beautiful spirit, it's you. Thank you. Saw Lilith. The dark goddess is about, it's her season, because she's coming true. So just know, if you feel yourself not having a lot of time or patience or going into self right about now, this is your dark goddess energy, because she's good to chop some heads off just to protect her peace. So there's gonna be, you're gonna wake up tired, a lot of you, man, waking up knackered because of the work you lot are doing in the ethers, you know, in your sleep time. Guys, just stay your ass hydrated, stay make sure when you do eat, you having nutritious meals. Thank you to my Sophia. I had to go all the way to fucking Paris to be reminded that I need to be starting to eat clean. She cooked for me and it was the most delicious 2 days of eating I've had in a really long time. And as soon as I got back home, I just got to chopping and got to boiling and these things, sauteing and eating really clean meals, back to cooking, back to nutrients at all times, cutting out the bullshit, back to my regular baths, back to praying at my altar, back to lighting the candles of the day. Today's red candles. You light red candles and anoint with ginger for courage and going through personal battles. Like all of these things, back on this shit, keeping the house pristine, clean. You understand? Not entertaining or engaging with lower vibrational activities, people, things, or places. Just not about it. Just not about it, because I don't have the tolerance for it, and if I engage, I'm good to fuck some people up, and I'm okay with that. Alright. Oh yes, Sophia, I can't wait to cook for you when you come. I'm probably thinking about what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna experiment probably with a couple of those recipes that I sent you the other day. I'm gonna experiment and see that broth, that mushroom, and that looked good, innit? With the wild rice. Try that. We're gonna try that. Anyway, let's get into this Imaginal. So this Imaginal cells thing was written by a man called Mark Wynn in 2015. So as we are in the Ethiopian year of 2015, this all comes back together again. So imaginal cells are formed in the chrysalis, which is formed from the liquidized caterpillar. It's also present in the larvae. Okay, so imaginal cells creates the process of metamorphosis of a caterpillar to a butterfly. These cells are all potential for the future. Initially, they act separately before combining as one to create something incredible, which is a great improvement on their previous existence. The immune system of the caterpillar sees these cells as threats and even tries to attack them. Regardless of the attack, they begin to multiply and connect with one another, forming clusters. They start to resonate with the same frequency and communicate, passing information back and forth until there is a tipping point. When they stop acting as individual separate cells and instead become a multiple cell organism, the butterfly. When these systems and structures are breaking, we can either collapse and die, or rise to the challenge and create something better and achieve the next stage of evolution. That's what we do, collective. That's what we're going to do. We become the butterfly, but we have to move together. We have to continue passing this information. Same things that we come together and we're just moving as one organism. Divided we are weak, united we are victorious, my G's. That's it. Oh, thank you, Shamika. That's it, guys. That's all I got for y'all. Let's do this. I want to thank my guides, my ancestors, my angels, my Orisha, my guardians of the air, of the sea and the earth, Mother, Father, God, and my higher self for allowing me to transmit this message to the G's and to the rest of the collective. I thank you, my loves, so much. Hit the like button now that y'all in, and I am just going to continue to be of service until this thing really pans out. I don't know how often I'll be coming on, but I feel like more than regularly, more than normal, because we are truly being asked to stay in communication with each other, keep each other updated on what we know, because this is one of the craziest wars we're ever going to face in this lifetime. So it's better that we're together than we are separated, and know that we've got each other. As above, so below. So within, so without. If it's you, then it's me. If it's me, then it's you. Remember, the fact that Lizzie's dead means that you are the true royalties. You are the true kings and queens of this time. So step into your sovereignty, my G's. Don't be afraid to be everything that you know you are. Ashe. I love on you. Kiss, kiss.